Hey guys, it's the Arty Gamer back again for another video in our channel. Of course, grab your teas, grab your coffees, and yes, maybe a little bit of food. And let's do this. Okay, now you know how this works, guys. Come on, let's take a sip of black coffee to enjoy the start of the weekend. Come on, let's go. Yes, lovely. And of course, going on my Crash Bandicoot coaster there. And yes, guys, if you are new here today and you are into gaming retrospectives, complete in-box experiences, art and graphic design, and of course a whole load of nostalgia, then yes, you are so in the right place here. So definitely consider giving this channel a subscribe and a like to the video if you haven't already. And yes, guys, if you are enjoying the artsy game of mess and madness and want to get notified when the next video goes live, then of course just pop on your notification bell, held up by Tails there. Well, it's the weekend, and of course that means we get to get a little bit arty-farty. And today we're going to continue rounding off our art piece that I did in collaboration with Tea Break Drawing, a lovely fan of the channel and a lovely moderator of mine, actually. And yes, here it is. Now, Tea Break drew this really awesome Pokemon. Forgive me, I can never really pronounce it in its name, so I just keep calling it the red Pokemon. And I drew a really cool, classy Shadow the Hedgehog. And what I did a few weekends ago now is I kind of put them all together to make a really cool abstract piece. And as I was doing it, I was like, I think something's just a little bit missing with this. I just want something to round it off. And then I had the idea that I would quite like to do some paint splats to this. Now, as you can see, I have actually got one going on right here. Now, this isn't actually paint. What I have done here is I've just done a thin pencil mark to start with, just to kind of represent like a paint bit just dripping down the side there. Went around it in a black liner and then I coloured it in red. Now, originally I did want to actually get the full-on paint and do the whole paint splats with the paintbrush and start flicking it and give it the whole like Art Attack vibe on how you would do that. But honestly, I've had a very, very busy week and I didn't actually get a chance to pick up any paints, unfortunately. But I was like, actually, you know what? Why don't I take you through a step-by-step process on how to actually draw a paint splat and colour it in, because they are really easy to do and there is a fun technique towards it. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to add a few cool paint splats just dripped around here. They might not all necessarily be red either. I might maybe get a few black ones in there as well. Maybe a yellow, just to kind of complement all the colours that are used in here. And then yes, absolutely, once this is done, this is the art piece for the giveaway. Yes, my competition is still running. And you know what, guys? I know people are busy and stuff like that, so videos might go missed. So if you would like to enter the competition, I am allowing entry details to be popped on here, and you can enter on this video as well, sorry. Full details on how to do that will be at the end of this video as well, so definitely stay tuned, just so we can get as many people entering as possible, because yes, that's what I want to do on this channel as well, give away my wonderful art pieces. Anyway, well, we are going to get set up in the art studio, but before we get there, just a few bits to get us there. All you need today to just draw a paint splat is a pencil, of course, with a lovely rubber on the end, a black liner to go around the paint splat in black, because I think it'd be cool to keep that kind of black liner going round all the pieces, especially when the shadow and the Pokemon here does have a lovely black line to represent each colour and each segment of the character. And then yes, of course, a red tip, or potentially a black or a yellow if you are looking to do a few other colours, which I might do when we get there. So yeah, so that's our little art video today. Yeah, probably only a short one, but yeah, we all are very busy at the moment, aren't we? So it is good to get a mix of long and short videos. Right then, guys, okay, let's take a sip of coffee before we head on into the art studio. Come on, join me. Lovely. Oh my gosh, I've got a bit of hair. I need to sweep them back.
Lovely. Oh my gosh, I've got a bit of hair. I need to sweep them back.
I'll see you over there. All right then, so here we are in the art studio and we have our lovely Shadow resting on the Pokemon that I can't pronounce. And today, like I said, we're going to have a little go at adding some paint splats to this, because I think this will really bring the whole thing together. And I'll tell you what, as I was just coming to the camera here, I can't believe how well these two characters really complement each other. When I said yellow as well earlier, I was really just referring to those two bits there of the Pokemon. But then I realised, yeah, Shadow has got some really lovely yellow highlights around his gloves and shoes. So I was like, yes, this is really, really awesome abstract piece. And I'll tell you what, I can't wait to do this as a giveaway. I might even have to photocopy this just so I have this in my collection, actually. I don't really want to get rid of it. So yeah, I think I will have to also photocopy this as well. And then maybe when we hit some more smaller milestones, like the 50 marks, then yeah, I could also do a copy of this to give away, because I think this is really, really awesome. So here we go then. We are going to start to add some paint splats. Now, I'm not going to go mad with this. We're not going to be adding paint splats everywhere. They just really need to be subtly placed. Luckily, the Pokemon is actually resting on a lovely white backdrop anyway, so there's no need for me to actually, I don't know, go away and do it on a white piece of paper first, then stick them down with a Pritt stick. I just think we could subtly place some around, and then maybe just some dripping potentially from Shadow himself. We could add the black there. That's where the black could come into play and actually make it look as if some of the black from the I would say the card that Shadow is resting on is dripping to the side. So I think that'll work really well. Right then, okay, so tips on how to draw a paint splat. Well, yes, we will start with our pencil. And I will actually have to move things to the side because these are quite tiny. So hopefully the camera will pick this up okay. So to start with, guys, what you're going to do is you are simply just going to draw a small circle. Now, I am actually pressing quite deep here because I want this to be picked up on the camera, but I would actually go a lot lighter than this. Once you've got your circle, then you are just going to add a few, I just like kind of like arcs and wibbly wobbly lines just to the edge of the circle, if you can just see what I've done there. Then you just might want to do another little bump up to the side there. Just make the top part of your circle a little bit bumpy, a little bit wavy. All right, it's almost like an elongated arc that you were just lifting up and down, and then it would meet the part of the circle. You might even want to add a few smaller circles just towards the upper part there, potentially, to look as if there's just been a bit of splat that's just splattered off the splat itself, which is quite cool. But we want to get that idea of gravity, that paint slowly dripping down the page. So to be able to do that, we then do that same motion now, but a really long arc all the way down. Exactly what you've just seen up there. What I did was I did a few wibbly wobbly lines, and then I did a really long, thin, elongated arc or arch, whatever you want to call it, all the way down to kind of give that feeling that the paint is dripping down. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to run the pencil along the edge of the circle and then swoop it all the way down. And whoa, yes, and then it might even just have a little bit of an extra to the side there as well, and then you're just going to feed it up like that. So it really is just a random wibbly wobbly shape that you've done, just feeding from the bottom of your circle. So that's the kind of idea. That's how you basically do a paint splat. It is simple as that. So yeah, why not? We just need to pick a few locations now where we think a paint splat could work. So I think definitely another one up here, maybe not as high, probably just in the center actually could work. So what I'm going to do again is I'm just going to draw a circle, maybe a little bit of a bigger one now actually. All right. And again, I would press a little bit lighter, but obviously for the purpose of the camera, I want it to pick up. I am pressing that a little bit harder. So of course, at the top of the circle, you want your smaller elongated arc shapes, wibbly wobbly lines, whatever you want to call them. Okay, and they must feed from the circle itself. All right. There we go. I wouldn't advise doing any like longer strips at the top they really do need to be at the bottom. So I would say anything halfway, that's when you can really start to go long with your drips. Anything above half of the circle needs to be those smaller, I would say, wibbly wobbly line arc shapes. I'm sure Dr. Black Eagle is picking up on my terminology. She is probably thinking, what the hell? So I apologise, Black Eagle. Right, okay. But yeah, we love Black Eagle. A massive fan of the channel, actually. Doesn't really comment too much, but I know Dr. Black Eagle in person, and a great character. She's really, really great, and a massive fan. So thank you. Right, okay, so that was quite a nice long one there. Again, I might just add a few little dots to show that the paint splattered from the splat itself. And yeah, there we go. That's pretty cool. I do like that. And you can just get creative, which is really cool about a paint splat. No one paint splat is the same, so just go for it. Yeah, really, really go to town with how you want those waves and wiggly lines to seep down that page. So yeah, there we go. That's quite cool. Now, like I said earlier, we could actually get some of the black paint that we are mimicking to just drip from some of the black cardboard that Shadow is resting on. So if we just come to one side here, now we're not actually going to do a circle. I would say we will just feed a really long drip all the way up, maybe adding a few little extras, and then allow it to just feed back into the cardboard there. So again, if you just follow along with my pencil marks, you'll be absolutely fine. And nothing really has to be perfect, because a paint splat is definitely not perfect. So we're just going to get the pencil, get it ready to run the edge, and then here we go, really long line. Very, very small. Oh, there we go. All right, we can even add a bit of a wiggle here. Whoa, like that. Okay, and then you just kind of feed it back in and then up. Haha, that's pretty cool. I do like that, actually. And again, just dot it around. You can just add a few circles here and where you think paint might have splattered away. That's really cool. Why not? We could maybe just add one more long one down here. That would work really well. So again, just get creative with it. Just a big, long, elongated, wibbly wobbly arc line shape. And then just get it to feed through at the top there. There we go. That's really cool. I do like that. Of course, you wouldn't be realistically doing anything at the top. We need to get that sense of gravity. So, I would say anything maybe halfway in your art, that's where you'd be adding the longer drips. Anything at the top part, it really would just be small little circles or splats. Right then, okay, so why not? Shall we add maybe, let's go down here then. Let's maybe put another one down here. And like I said, I don't really want to add loads. It's just kind of like subtle splats just to bring this all to life. So we will revert back to that circle again. So we're just going to do a lovely circle. And then we're just going to add a few little smaller arky, wibbly wobbly shapes at the top. And again, you could still add a few little circles here and there. And then, of course, at the bottom of that circle, that's when we're just going to add a really elongated, wibbly wobbly line. And again, just get creative with it. There is no right or wrong answer to this at all, really. Again, I might just add a little bit of line there. That's really cool. I do really like that. It's great. Yeah. Gosh, you know what? Why not, actually? Could we add maybe, I don't know, some extras to the actual characters potentially? I'm definitely verging on the idea this would be black. So let's get the line here of T-Break's Pokemon and do something very similar that we did here. So let's just feed in, really big, long line there. Whoa, there we go. Wow, just get creative with it. And then feed it in. Haha, there we go. And maybe just that's quite cool. Your little circles don't actually have to be circles either. They could be almost like little bean shapes or something. And then just add a few little circles there. That's pretty cool. And the reason why I was thinking that was because I was just thinking that could actually have a bit of a drip there just coming from Shadow. So if I feed this again using the same technique, you just kind of feed that pencil around and add a bit of a drip here. Whoa. And then just kind of, whoa, okay. Now you're talking. Now you're talking, guys. I'm almost thinking we could add a few drips just to shadow here as well. So why not? I'm getting carried away now. I was saying let's not add too many paint splats here, but yeah, but I just love how, like, you might do one thing like a paint splat, and then it might like draw you to other ideas that you could add to your piece, which I think is really cool. Hey, there we go. Wow. That is actually pretty cool. I can imagine that being maybe a red there and a black. Yeah, that's pretty badass. I love that. All right then. Well, like I said, I don't want to get too carried away with this. So yeah, I think that is enough. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just go around all the paint splats that we've done in your black liner. So here we go. Just like that. Okay, getting your black liner. I will just do one for the camera, and then what I'll do is I'll just kind of go away in my own time, pop a bit of music behind it, just so you can get the idea. So I think the best idea is to show you how to do one of the ones here where we've done a bit of a circle and a bit of a drip. Okay, so here we go. This is the one that we started with. So with the black tip, you are not now going to go around the whole of the circle here because that will ruin the aesthetic. You now need to go around your splat in the black liner, just going around all the wibbly wobbly lines you've done. Please don't go and actually go around that circle because it will look like black line has cut off some of the splats, which it doesn't give it the correct effect. So I'll just give you an example. So we're here, and you're just running that liner now just around all the wibbly wobbly lines that we've done. All right. There we go. I'm just feeding it back up and around. There we go. And of course, any other little subtle things, splats, whatever that we've added to one side, that would be great. Or you could just, go freehand if you want to. Yeah. And yeah, already that's looking really lovely. Yeah, cool. Right. Okay. That's the idea. I'm just going to go away and do this in my own time. And then once that's done, we'll come and add some colour. Well, there we go then. We have all our paint splats lovely and gone round in a lovely black line. I don't know why I said lovely there about 10 billion times, but I'm thinking that is looking nice and lovely.
I don't know why I said lovely there about 10 billion times, but I'm thinking that is looking nice and
lovely. So yeah, there we go. So what we need to do now is any splats that we had quite a deep circle made to help make the paint splat. We just need to now rub them out. Now, the reason why I'm going to do this is because we are going to be using tips to colour these in. We're not using pencil, and sometimes if you haven't fully rubbed out the pencil line, you can really tell, especially if you're using lighter colours, and some of that pencil actually then can get merged into the actual felt tip, and it can actually distort the colour a little bit. It can go a little bit darker, and also it can leave a bit of a horrible residue on the tip itself. So make sure all of those pencil marks now are fully rubbed out. Okay, so it was mainly actually, I would say, on the paint splats where I did do a bit of a demonstration because I was pressing quite hard just to show the camera. There we go. Lovely. And I think the rest were pretty much, yeah, so just like that. Cool. Right then, okie dokie. So let's start with that red. I have gone for a big thick tip. But if you're not that confident using some of the bigger tips, yes, by all means, go for those smaller ones, absolutely. In fact, you probably will be a little bit more better off when you're doing some of the smaller dots. But I can actually work quite a thick felt tip quite well, so I'm quite confident to do this. So why not? We'll add bit of colour to this red one up here, and I'll take you through a bit of a step-by-step process. Maybe on this one we might do a bit of yellow on there. I will show you how to do the black, and then I'll go away and do it in my own time. So here we go then. I mean, this is very much, straightforward now. You are simply just colouring in the paint splat that you've done. But the reason why I've decided to go for felt tip rather than like pencil colours and stuff is because if you are working with a very small area, for example, a paint splat, it is actually very hard to get a vibrant colour with a pencil colour when we're working in a small area. The reason being is because when you are starting to press quite hard in that pencil, the pencil actually starts to dull. It starts to kind of lose its sharpness. As it does that, then it is harder to go into those smaller areas. For example, coming up here will be very hard to actually get it with a dull kind of blunt pencil. And yes, you can continuously sharpen and sharpen and sharpen, but then actually then it really starts to lose the look of the color. You've got some really sharp pencil marks in there. So I would actually advise going for actual felt tips when you work with smaller areas. And when the pencil is at that stage, it loses its brightness, it loses its boldness, whereas a felt tip will continue to actually work that bright, bold color no matter how small or big the area is. So I would actually recommend doing that with these smaller pieces. And it is kind of like vice versa. I wouldn't actually use a big felt tip to, go for a big area. For example, this Pokemon's tongue here, because then you get the classic kind of like shading stripes that you just don't want to see on your art at all. That is not cool. But when you're working with smaller areas with a tip, you don't get the classic lines that you see. Very stereotypical child's drawing, and they've used a big felt tip to colour in, and then you get these horrible lines. I'm sure I'll actually probably be able to put a picture up, but you guys know what I mean. Right then, okay, you know what? Let's go for a bit of yellow now, I would say. Yeah, I would like to maybe do yellow with this one here. So again, I have got a big, thick yellow tip, and we're just going to apply the same technique, of course. And again, I would also recommend going with yellow for smaller areas as well, because yellow is such a hard colour to work with, especially to get it really bright. So guys, honestly, if you are working in smaller areas with a yellow, felt tip all the way, please, all the way. Okay, lovely, very happy with that. Yeah, really cool, very nice. You know what, I think I will actually make this one yellow as well, because if not, it probably will look like I'll probably only be able to get one more yellow, if that makes sense. So yeah, here we go. We'll just add this one here. And it's actually not taken me too long to colour these in, actually. So, you might actually stay with me for the whole thing. I was thinking, I might cut the camera, but I'm not doing too bad for time. There we go, lovely. And of course, just dotting that off there. Yeah, really great. Oh, this is looking really awesome, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so yeah, there are yellow splats. I would actually like to go back to red here, because as you can see, I've actually made that drip come from that red mark from shadow there. So let's revert back to our red tip now. And I think just colouring this in red here will work wonders. And again, look how bright that is, how great. Yeah, lovely, really nice. Now, yes, there is a bit of a black line, which is kind of what I wanted to try and avoid when we were doing the paint splats here, when I was just demonstrating the black liner. But as this was kind of like a secondary idea, yeah, it doesn't matter too much. Oh, that is really cool. I'm really digging that. That's great. That really is awesome. Okay, right then. So let's go for a bit of black now, then, guys. So I don't actually have a black thick tip. Unfortunately, I did, but it's actually run out. So I do actually need to get on the hunt for some colours, actually. And you know what? That could be another video for our channel, is where I could actually maybe show you some liners and some felt tips that I like to use. So yeah, why not actually? When I go and buy some, I could almost do a bit of a CEX visit, but not CEX. It's like a works visit for something. That could be cool, and another maybe new series to add to the channel. But right then, yeah, okay, so why not? We'll do tea breaks Pokemon here. So I think black would work the best here. So all you're going to do is just colour that in now. Now, this probably will take a little bit longer because my tip isn't, as big. So, yeah, but you can just start to see it definitely taking shape now, can't you? There we go. Now, I am actually now, using this tip where a lot of ink has been used to, print the Pokemon on. I don't know why I was talking like a robot there.
No, I don't know why I was talking like a robot there.
So the actual feeling of the pen gliding along this does feel a little bit different. But then again, I was using the paint splats on this bit as well, which is also printed from a printer, but I don't know why. It just feels a little bit different. Maybe it's the colour that is being used here. Maybe it's just worked into the paper a little bit differently because it is like a cream here rather than like a whitey colour. But nevertheless, it seems to be working okay. Nice. Lovely. Yeah, this is looking really cool. Nice. All right. And then, of course, just a bit here. There we go. All right. Okay. Yeah. Really great. Yeah, look at that. That is looking sick as hell. Very, very happy with how this is coming out. Right then, guys. Yeah, well, the other splats are pretty much exactly the same as what we've done with the bit that I've done on Tea Breaks Pokemon. So what I'll do now is just cut the camera, make sure that's all in place. And then, yeah, guys, I think we'll be pretty much done, ready for the giveaway tomorrow. Right then, guys, and here we are, the completed version of the Tea Break collaboration with Artsy Gamer, the lovely Pokemon, and Shadow here with some really lovely paint splats dotted around the piece. And I think it really does bring it to life. It really, really does now bring the whole piece together. I did kind of get a little bit of a vibe where it did just look like Shadow was just slapped on there and they just complemented with the colours. And yes, it did. And I think it did work really well, but it just was missing something, wasn't it? And then, yes, absolutely. Here we go. I think what a well-rounded piece this is. And again, really does give an abstract feel to it as well, which is again something I do want to provide more on this channel. And then, yes, absolutely. Here we go. And of course, yes, this is our competition giveaway. So like I said earlier, yes, I am happy for you to enter on this video as well. I know some of my videos can get lost because I do post every day. I do get that. So yeah, here we go then, guys. If you do want to enter my competition to win this art piece, all you need to do is, first of all, like this video. You do need to be a subscriber to my channel. Comment down below what is your favorite Sonic game of all time. Don't worry if you haven't got one, then just pop your favorite game of all time down. But it is interesting to see people's favorite Sonic games. So yes, absolutely. You almost must share this video as well to a friend or a family member. And then, yes, that will bag you an entry into my hat. I will obviously find all the names, put all the names into a hat, and then the winner will be the person that I pull out of the hat which is going to be announced tomorrow. So yes, absolutely, definitely get entering. Now, I did have some comments on my previous video, my, giveaway video, because, they were asking, oh, guys, can I choose? Because that video, I actually did the Simpsons hit and run piece, the Homer running like that, and I did actually draw that on the competition giveaway, and I had some comments saying like, oh, can I choose either this one or that one if I win? Yes, absolutely. If you don't want this piece and you would rather the Homer, that's fine. I'll just ask did you want this piece or the Homer? And then absolutely, I'll go and send that your way. I'm not
that strict on this show, guys, don't worry.
But yes, there we go. The winner video will be popped up tomorrow. So oh my gosh, guys, definitely stay tuned to the Artsy Gamer. Yes, guys. Just a quick one as well. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. This one is still in the works. I am currently drawing a PlayStation 1 with a really cool controller, but if you just look subtly, I haven't actually gone to town with it yet, but some Harry Potter stickers just stuck all over the PlayStation 1. This has been on the back burner a little bit. I do apologise. I am madly busy, but a good busy. I like to keep busy, literally just flopping and changing from every single bit of my life, and I am working on this. This was meant to be kind of a Christmas giveaway, but the Simpsons thing took over. Obviously, the really lovely collaboration with Tea Break Drawing took over. So I'm not somebody that can do everything all in the click of the fingers. So don't worry, I am on the works with this one, and of course this will be some sort of giveaway soon. So here we go. Stay tuned again. Right then, guys, well, that is it for me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's video and potentially TikTok Live. Over and out.